British Airways is the flag carrier airline of the United Kingdom. It is headquartered in London, England, near its main hub at Heathrow Airport. The airline is the second largest UK-based carrier, based on fleet size and passengers carried, behind EasyJet. In January 2011, BA merged with Iberia, creating the International Airlines Group, a holding company registered in Madrid, Spain. IAG is the world's third largest airline group in terms of annual revenue and the second largest in Europe. It is listed on the London Stock Exchange and in the FTSE 100 index. British Airways is the first passenger airline to have generated more than $1 billion on a single air route in a year. BA was created in 1974 after a British Airways board was established by the British government to manage the two nationalised airline corporations, British Overseas Airways Corporation and British European Airways, and two regional airlines, Cambrian Airways and Northeast Airlines. On the 31st of March 1974, all four companies were merged to form British Airways. However, it marked 2019 as its centenary based on predecessor companies. After almost 13 years as a state company, BA was privatized in February 1987 as part of a wider privatization plan by the Conservative government. The carrier expanded with the acquisition of British Caledonian in 1987, Dan Air in 1992, and British Midland International in 2012. It is a founding member of the Oneworld Airline Alliance, along with American Airlines, Cathay Pacific, Qantas, and the now-defunct Canadian Airlines. The alliance has since grown to become the third largest, after SkyTeam and Star Alliance. Proposals to establish a joint British airline, combining the assets of the British Overseas Airways Corporation and British European Airways were first raised in 1953 as a result of difficulties in attempts by BOAC and B to negotiate air rights through the British colony of Cyprus. Increasingly, BOAC was protesting that B was using its subsidiary Cyprus Airways to circumvent an agreement that B would not fly routes further east than Cyprus, particularly to the increasingly important oil regions in the Middle East. The chairman of BOAC, Miles Thomas, was in favor of a merger as a potential solution to this disagreement and had backing for the idea from the Chancellor of the Exchequer at the time, Rab Butler. However, opposition from the Treasury blocked the proposal. Consequently, it was only following the recommendations of the 1969 Edwards Report that a new British Airways board, managing both B and BOAC, and the two regional British airlines, Cambrian Airways based at Cardiff, and Northeast Airlines based at Newcastle upon Tyne, was constituted on 1 April 1972. Although each airline's branding was maintained initially, 2 years later the British Airways Board unified its branding, effectively establishing British Airways as an airline on 31 March 1974. Following 2 years of fierce competition with British Caledonian, the second largest airline in the United Kingdom at the time, the government changed its aviation policy in 1976 so that the two carriers would no longer compete on long-haul routes. British Airways and Air France operated the supersonic airliner Aerospatiale BAC Concorde, and the world's first supersonic passenger service flew in January 1976 from Heathrow Airport to Bahrain International Airport. Services to the U.S. began on 24 May 1976 with a flight to Washington Dulles Airport, and flights to New York JFK Airport followed on the 22nd of September 1977. Service to Singapore was established in cooperation with Singapore Airlines as a continuation of the flight to Bahrain. Following the Air France Concorde crash in Paris and a slump in air travel following the 11 September attacks in New York in 2001, it was decided to cease Concorde operations in 2003 after 27 years of service. The final commercial Concorde flight was BA002 from New York JFK to London Heathrow on 24 October 2003. In 1981, the airline was instructed to prepare for privatization by the Conservative Thatcher government. Sir John King, later Lord King, was appointed chairman, charged with bringing the airline back into profitability. While many other large airlines struggled, King was credited with transforming British Airways into one of the most profitable air carriers in the world. The flag carrier was privatised and was floated on the London Stock Exchange in February 1987. British Airways effected the takeover of the UK's second airline, British Caledonian, in July of that same year. The formation of Richard Branson's Virgin Atlantic in 1984 created a competitor for BA. The intense rivalry between British Airways and Virgin Atlantic culminated in the former being sued for libel in 1993, arising from claims and counterclaims over a "dirty tricks" campaign against Virgin. This campaign included allegations of poaching Virgin Atlantic customers, tampering with private files belonging to Virgin, and undermining Virgin.